To the Shack. Happy Monday. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and we're set to finish our doodles on the B for beach hut, and I'm caught on my chair. Good morning, come on in. And how's the weather been in your neck of the woods? We had some serious wind last night outside. So come on in and then we'll get started. Let's see whether you actually stayed indoors, because there are a lot of trees down in our area in the southeast of England. What about in your neck of the woods? All the staff got in though. The fire brigade were able to clear the trees very quickly and efficiently in our area. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Yeah, very windy here. Very windy here too. And but the sun's shining, and the flooding's not so bad as it's been in the past. So it's quite pleasant, really. And it's nice to be in the building with everybody this morning. It's always good to see Jim and Jazz and Stuart and Jilly and Paul. Paul is in the building with us this evening. Let me just check what I'm doing here. I'm sitting on the cable. Oh no. Guten Morgen, Marion. What does she say? Auch hier in Norddeutschland, stürmisch. Very stormy in North Germany too. Yeah, that's it. If I don't sit on the cable, that helps. I was starting to keep looking up because it was pulling me back. Anyway, enough. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? Good? Not bad? What did you have for lunch yesterday? Did you have a traditional Sunday roast? We made lamb. We did lamb yesterday. Do like lamb. Well, Dave's the old lamb sheep farmer, isn't he? So it's always going to be lamb at our house. Yeah, and then yesterday I actually went and did some pottery for a few hours, which I enjoyed, and really got into the process. Perfect for clearing the head, you know. And on Saturday, we went to see Mum, but then we all watched Deborah Wheeler. Now, did you see Deborah Wheeler on Create and Craft on Saturday? She was amazing. She was so professional, so good. She did so well, you know. Funny enough, Martin, he was the presenter on my very first TV show all those years ago. And he's really good. He's good, you know. But she gave him as good as he got. That's for certain. As she gave him back, didn't she? It was the banter was fabulous. So well done, Deborah. You know, there you go. We've got two winners on the telly now. Jane Telford, brilliant, doing groovy, and Deborah Wheeler, brilliant, doing stamps. Can't beat that, can you? So we're really grateful for the support. We're really grateful for the support, Paul and I, aren't we, love? Sound is nice and clear. Good. I did a beef pot yesterday. Chicken and leek pie. Yummy. There you go. There's nothing like it. You know, when the weather's a little bit cold and miz, nothing like a hot pot or an English roast, eh? I think so too. So let's have a look. Should we get started? We'll have a little recap and then we'll see where we're headed today, because we started colouring in on Friday night, didn't we? And it would be good to see if anybody catches us this morning. So let's just check this out for a minute. I came into the studio to do the shack into Clarity Towers, because the builders where we live, it was amazing. A new team in today. We could barely get out of the drive. It is getting ridiculous, honestly. And can you imagine the rain and the mud and the trees and the and then add 30 builders to the mix? It is chaos. I know. Dave had to help me get out of the drive, and he couldn't. Anyway, enough. Could be worse. Probably will get worse before it gets better. Nonetheless, we're here in the shack and we're going to doodle. Do you remember at the beginning of the year we started an alphabet, and we're on B for beach hut today. We've done A for apple and B for beach hut. So we're just drawing different things that begin with a certain letter. So we're using the alphabet, if you like, as a kind of a vehicle, like a bus. You know, the great news is at the end of it, we'll have a fabulous alphabet drawn up too, but it's a great way to create a kind of a system, you know, a useful system. So let's have a look. We started with, bear with me a moment. We started with A for apple, didn't we? We did A for apple, which came out really nice. And let me see, I know we've got our apple somewhere. I've got one in my little watercolour book. There you go, A for apple. Today is all red paint and scribbles. So that was the A. And then we moved on to the B. So you can see the letters, they're all the same height, and they're going to be a beautiful alphabet, aren't they? So we've got the A, then we got the B, and then we got the B for beach hut. And we did a beach hut, didn't we? Well, we did a pair of beach huts, actually. We did a pair of beach huts, those two, didn't we? So we did one that was straight up, and then one that had a bit of an angle, a bit of perspective on the stairs. So, and then what we did was we transferred them to a pad, a watercolouring pad. We've got these pads. They're cool. And then we've also got these little books. They're cool. So, so we've got nice watercolour paper if you need it. But you could draw it on anything. You could draw this on anything. In fact, I did. Check it out. I drew it on one of our new papers. And I really like this. So I thought we'd do another layer on this one. Okay, and then I'll show you how to do this on one of our new papers, on the chamomile paper, which are officially being launched on Friday. I'm on telly on Friday. This is the one I used, so I thought we'd go to that one again, because it's quite something when you realise that all you've used is a little piece of layering paper, or there you go, something I'd put on the wall, and they're lovely. Yeah, so we're going to do that later, if you're up for it. And then Jim had a brilliant idea, which I really, because I was saying he really liked this particular piece of artwork. And then he said, well, you could put a message in the bottom here. So we'll do that as well, and I'll show you how to do that. That's later. But for now, what I wanted to do was do the second layer, because that's where we left off on Friday. Are we cool? So I'll take all this away. We've done our two beach huts, so we could make a row of them if we fancied, couldn't we? Let's have a look. But really what we want to do, oh, and I've done a third one on one of my bits of watercolour paper from the little booklet, and that's just a clean one, because then I thought maybe I will ink it up just to see what it looks like in black ink. So I'm really enjoying, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I really am enjoying these beach huts. They're kind of a feel-good design, and they're easy to make as well. There you go, there's the other one. So wouldn't he look good if we popped him straight in the middle of these two? So we've got a whole row of them, because they do tend to come in rows. In fact, that one needs to come down like that, because the legs, see? Unless we set it back. Even if you set it back, it's going to come down like that. There, like so. I think I'm going to pop him in the middle, but I'll do these two first, because what we want to do is the colour on this, okay? So second colour, do you remember I said you've got to kind of wait until it's dry before you put the next colour on? So let's have a look. I'm using the pergoliners, and low, there's my mix mat with the colours that I was using. And I'm using the aqua pencils, the watercolour pencils. So the colours I used are the yellow here. That was the yellow. So when we scrush it like that. Then this was the green, where I broke the pencil. I'm still going to use it though, because it's a waste of lead otherwise. There you go. Good, that's good enough. Waste not, want not. I don't need to waste that. That's what happens when you sharpen too fast. too vehemently. Right, and then I've got the blue, that's this one, there, that one. And then I've got the dark green. There we go, that one there. That's the dark green. I'm going to make a nice blend with that one. I'll colour those two together. Tell you what else looks really nice with this over the top is the red. If you put the red in, or the red, and then put this over the top, you get a most beautiful rusty colour. Something that we may do later. So I've got my mix mat and I've got my colours, and then I just need my water brushes. I'm going to use these. These are good. My little stash here. Okay, and then we'll put another colour on. But first, I think we'll go with that bluey colour. And I just want to add, now this is dry, I'm going to add a true bluey colour there. Let's have a look. I want to use this kind of tealy colour. So I'm going to put a little bit of water there. Okay, like so. And then I'll mix the colours in. So I could go true blue like that. There's the true blue. And now I can move a bit of blue down here and I can bring a bit of green in. See how you blend the colours? Now I'm getting a really cool turquoise colour. Look, see? As opposed to a true blue. If I want a true blue, I can go back in there, pick up a bit more. See? There. So now I've got that lovely tealy colour, which I didn't have, and now I do. So that's rather cool. Right, so if I add a bit more like so, if I want a true green, there's my true green. If I want to make it tealy, then I just mix it in with a bit of the blue. Here we go. That's the colour I'm after, is this tealy colour. Okay, so you know now how these are blending, these are mix mats, and they work brilliantly for exactly this. So now let's just get this colour in, and what I want to do is let's use a bit of a wash just to get the colour in first. It's just to add the water. So you get like I'm just using a bit of just water like that. There you go. Let's just do this bit first. Just showing you how to lay down the colour. So in watercolour speak, they call this a glaze, which means you're just putting down a little bit of water, and then that way, because it's quite wet now, right, you'll find when you put down the actual colour now, when you put down this colour, it just stays in the, see, it stays where you put the glaze down. So this is quite cool. It's a good trick to know that you can, see, I'm deliberately leaving a little bit open there, but because you've put the glaze down first, the colour doesn't move around, you see? It just stays in the gully, the water gully that you've created. So that's quite good. We'll put down a colour like that. Now, if you want to, so we'll go back to a wash. And actually, I'm just trying to, let me see if I can find a paper towel or a tissue or something. Just bear with me a second. I could do with I'm sure I've got one somewhere. Oh, let me see. Yeah. It's all right, I'll stick with the paper. I'll just use a bit of paper. Normally, I'd have a bit of paper towel and I would just, it's okay, it's fine. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just pop it in like so, and then come down there like that. So a bit of a wash first, and then we can just add that colour. That will come nicely. Oh, thanks, Paul. Thank you. Good man. Right, it's just so that I can get rid of the excess water if I need it, see? There, that's it. So it doesn't blob, if you like. There. Just do that like so. So we'll get our glaze down first, and then we can add our darker colour afterwards. So you get a real nice, because we're not putting the we didn't ink. We could always put don't get me wrong, we could certainly always go back and put ink in afterwards in the on the line art, no problem at all. See, that's not an issue. But you see how we've created a colour that we didn't have before, which is quite cool. There you go. So add a bit of See, I like these water brushes because they're nice to use. They're easy as well. They just they don't glug. They dispense the amount of water that you need rather than, you know, so it just keeps it nice and fluid. There you go. Let's put a bit up from the bottom, like so. And you can just... Right, I'm just concentrating a little bit on this. But how are you anyway? You okay? You all right? You looking forward to a week? We're looking forward to this week. We've got a busy week coming up. We're going to Frankfurt on Saturday. We're going to Frankfurt to the big trade show. So if you, I did want to tell you, as far as that goes, with the SHAC on Thursday, we won't be able to meet on Thursday because I've got to go up to TV. I've got Create and Craft on Friday morning, early, 9 and 1. So we won't have the SHAC on Thursday, and we won't be here. I won't be here on Monday either because I've got the I'm in Frankfurt. So forgive me, we won't see each other again in the SHAC, but we'll be doing C for something. We'll start on C for something when we get together in the SHAC on next Thursday. Okay, so that'll be fun. Something to look forward to. Hey, something to look forward to, friends. And in the meantime, you could have a little play and maybe get ahead of me with the C. There, see? There, see? It's nice, isn't it? When you add a little bit of water. And it doesn't always have to be exactly, you know, like perfect. With watercolour, it's nice if you go out over the edge a little bit. A little bit of, it looks pretty cool too. But all I'm doing is the timber work in teal. I decided that the timber work is going to be turquoise, right? Because I think that looks good. And then we'll add a little bit of blue to the yellow and see what we get. But the timber work's got to be turquoise. Turquoise, see, in New Mexico, you know, we've got a house in New Mexico. If you've ever been to Santa Fe or Albuquerque or any of those places in New Mexico, or even Arizona, wherever there are Native American Indians, actually, most of the windows and doors are turquoise, or they've got, the framework on the adobe buildings, you know, there might be mud huts, but they'll always have a turquoise door and a turquoise window frame. And the reason is because turquoise, the colour, turquoise, the stone, is said to ward off evil spirits. There you are. See, and that's why, let's get a bit more of this tealy colour going. That's why you'll always see loads when you go to any adobe villages or Santa Fe or Taos, you'll see lots and lots of turquoise frames. See, and now what's great is with these pens, look, so you can let that layer dry now, and then once that layer's dry, you can start to go in with the real detail. So for example, here's one I did earlier. If I go in now with a darker, make a little squish again like that. Let's go in, make a darker greeny blue there, like that. Okay. So you can make your own palette basically. So if we take that now, let's see, if I take that, let me put some, see, I can put some down here on top of the yellow. I don't need to add green. The green's coming all by itself when the two mix. There you go. So you're going to take that wash now and you can bring it down and make a really cool like shadow with it, see? Like that. If you want it to be more blue, then you go into the blue area and you'll see there. See, but if it's too thick, you have to drag it out a bit. There you go. So you can hoover it up again as well and then transfer it over here. If you put too much on, blot it grey there. But it's a nice, easy, fun way of working. Let's see if we could put a bit of shadow on here. I'm just going to use a bit of water. Let's use water first to get a wash. Right. So I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to add water. There you go. See? Coloured water basically is all it is. And you can come down. See? There's the look that we're getting. We're trying for, isn't it? You're just changing it a bit, see? There, that looks good, doesn't it? You're just going to bring that in like that. Bit of stain on the wood. Make it look more weathered, eh? So it's not all bright yellow, like a new build, like opposite our house. Do you know what Dave was telling me the other day? I was incensed. Okay, I've got to tell you this. They look good, right? So Dave was telling me, he said, you know those chimneys aren't real? I said, what do you mean the chimneys aren't real? He said, on those houses up the road, he said, they're all fiberglass chimneys. They're just on the house to make it look like this. I said, what, you mean they haven't got a chimney? They haven't got a fireplace in the house? He said, no, of course they haven't. They've put fiberglass chimneys on the house, but they're not chimneys. They just look like chimneys. And I said, why would you do that? He said, so it looks more like a house than a box. So it has no function. It's just literally perched on the house. You could even, it's like an ornament. I know. Amazing. What's happening, eh? Ken's saying we ought to put some turquoise at the end of the drive to ward off the builders. Yeah, well, do you know what? That might work. That might actually work. I'm still reeling from what Dave told me about the chimneys. Doesn't it look lovely though when you start to build up so you can put these layers down. So remember, this is the same picture. I'm not going to do the blue door yet though, but let me take a little bit more of that. I want to get a wash going. So you have to be quite watery when you do this. So now you could put down another layer of water, blue wash. Here we go. And it stains, it literally stains the paper. Let's take a bit of that blue there, see? And then you just bring it in and create depth that way. It's quite cool. It's a nice way to go. Looks good. And when it's dry, here's the other thing, is once you've done this and you get it to be quite dry, you can add more and more layers. But then you could go in with grey pencils and get a really nice effect that way too. So there you go. Santa will be in for a shock with the false chimneys, won't he though? He won't know what's hit him. See, you just build a bit of green on the stairs here. See this door, maybe I'll make it green instead. Let's go with a light green door so that it's not exactly the same as that one there. So you get your wash so that the paper's wet before you start. There you go. And then you'll find the other colours will there. See, I like being able to change the colours. Let's go a bit darker green now, like that. See what happens if we put a bit of dark green in there. There we go, around the edge. Nice. There. Yeah, he will get a shot, won't he, Santa? What's it coming to? I mean, I guess the birds will be all right. They can make a nest in there. They'll be happy. Yeah. Let's make these steps green too. So it's ever so easy to do. What colour are you using? Are you using the same kind of colours as me? There. This is going to look so nice. And then what I'll do is I'll transfer the one in this one. When this is dry, I am going to do that. I'm going to put this one in here because I think that will look really cool. But these two first. There you go. So that is enough. I don't really need to say more on the subject here because I want to When these are dry though, like I say, if you go in with your grey pencils, you can get fantastic effects on these. If you wanted to go in with your ink pencils, you can do that too. You can use a black pencil, right? You can go in, but I can't do this yet because I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. I'm still playing. I'm in play mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this to one side, have a sip of my coffee, and then we can start on the one. We could transfer the one onto that paper. So I want to show you, I think the general consensus was we want to learn how to do this, because it's how do you get the white, etc., make it look different. It's a framer, isn't it? And then what I wanted to show you as well was how to put a message or a verse down here. So when Jim was in earlier, he said, all you need is a verse and you put it on your wall. I said, that would be really nice. So he said, I've got it. He said, I do like to be beside the seaside. B for beach hut. I know, clever Jim. So then I thought, right, so I put that on a piece of tracing paper so I could get the position right. So that's what I want it to look like. Then I put it on the other half of this. See, so this is a bit cut away from here. So if you got the whole piece, it's like that. See, there's the whole piece of paper. So what I've done is I've taken this piece, and I thought that would look, because it's so thin and lovely, it would look really good glued on there like so, because then you get the light in the dark and the dark in the light, and I think that looks really classy. And I haven't used a pen. I've just used the black pencil to do that. But you know, the jury's out on that, because I've got loads. I've got I've got at least 3 opportunities here to see what I prefer. Yeah. So the first thing I wanted, but I thought that was such a clever idea of Jim's. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I like that. So this is what I'm going to show you what to do now and how to get this coloured in like so. The first thing we need is a piece of the paper, the designer, these new chamomile papers. So I'm going to do this. You could do this on any paper. I'm just showing off how fabulous this paper is, you know, because I'm going to launch it on Friday on the telly. I won't have time to do this, but I'm giving you a sneak preview, and you can buy them directly from us as well. They're not new and exclusive to TV, but they will be on the television on Friday. So I'll show you how they work. And then when you watch me on telly, you'll see loads of other demos, different tricks and tips. You know, you can layer them, you can cut them, you can tear them, you can colour them. You know, there's lots of different things, because they're so thin, it makes such a difference. So this is from the chamomile set. So I'm going to use this piece here. So if I fold this in half, that's the first thing I want to do, is fold it in half. I only want to use 1/2. Okay, I'm going to use this half, and it's got it's obviously it's printed only on one side, so on the other side it's white, because it's only, I think it's 80 GSM. Let's have a look. What does it say? 80 GSM, I think. Yeah, 80 GSM. So we wanted to flood one colour with one side, really rich colour, and then the other side is white. Otherwise, the colours would bleed through each other. You'd be able to see one. It would affect. You know, it's like ceramics. It's enamel. You can see through. So we've got the 2 sides now. Are we enjoying this? Hope so. Let's have a look. And we're going to take this one here and this one here. Right, so we'll use this one. And now we've got to transfer our art to this again, haven't we? We've got to transfer it. Now, in a minute, I'm going to colour this in. So I've got a trick. If I take an emery board, okay, it's like sandpaper, but it's like minimal. And all I'm going to do is just rub this over the card. It doesn't affect the colour, but it just gives it a bit of a purchase. What you'll find is the pencils will they just take a bit better. You're not rubbing it to affect the colour at all, but you are changing the surface a little bit. It's like you're getting rid of a very, very thin layer of some kind of inky varnish, like an inky finish that you don't really need, and you don't want when you're using pencils over the top. Okay, so now we've got that. Now I need my picture, and then I'm going to, I think I'll use, let's have a look. I know I'm going to use this one, my much loved one, because it's got a lot more it's got a lot more pencil on it to show through, isn't it? So we'll go this side this time. Let's see. And I want to leave enough room to put my message in. So I've got to think it through a little bit. So I'm going to pop this up here, and that will give me plenty of room for my message. Yeah, there you go. You just got to think the plan through a little bit, haven't you? Eh? Yeah. But you could do this on watercolor. You could on watercolor paper. This particular coloring exercise. But I just want to show you how clever these papers are as well. So that'll do. That's straight. And now we're just going to transfer. So let me see. If I take a pencil, let me just make sure that this is actually transferring, so that I can see. Yeah, it is. So it's transferring the image for me, because this is going to be my outline. I'm actually not even going to colour it in or anything. This is what I've got to work with. So let's just put this down. It won't take long. I find this actually very relaxing, you know. And like I was saying the other day, when you get your design right, and you've got this on tracing paper, you can use this template so many times. It's crazy. It's absolutely, it's really arty, and it's not hard to just keep drawing over the top again. Just keep retransferring. Next time I'll flip it round the other way and we'll do the other side. But it's so that's the door. There we go. So while I'm doing this, what's going on this week? Well, let me see. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and Paul will be in the SHAC, Groovy Tuesday, yeah? And then on Thursday, Paul will be at Create and Craft at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. He'll be doing Groovy again. So for all you Parchment fans, that's Tuesday, 10 o'clock, and Tuesday 10 o'clock and Thursday 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And then my job is to trundle up. Let me see what I've got here. Oh, his legs. I've got to go up to Peterborough on Thursday evening to set up for early Friday morning, because on Friday I'm on at 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock with a really cool, it's a new collection. And, you know, in order to spread the cost and spread the interest as well, we've got this really beautiful set, and it comes with dies, really cool. But there are like 5 of them, but I want to do them 1 a month. So it's like the Linda Williams new and exclusive. Rather than throw everything at you at the same time, I think it's a better idea to go once a month. You collect the set, we get together at mid-month and do a craft along together using that set, so we get loads of ideas, you know, and then the following month you collect, and the thing is that the sets and the dies are all very interchangeable. It's a very clever system, yeah. But you'll see when we get together on Friday, 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock, I think you'll enjoy the start. New year, new idea. It's really cool, okay? And the dies are also really useful for loads of other applications, not just, you know, but the stamps that come in the set are really useful, and so are the, right, let's have a look. I don't want to put the stripe. Do I want to put the stripes in? Let's have a look. I'll put the stripes in. Yeah, let's put the stripes in. And then we'll see. See, you can always put them in afterwards. See if they're coming through. Yeah, good enough. Right. So we put the stripes in, because that's going to be interesting. We'll put them in here as well. Right. Yeah, so that's Friday, 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And then I'm off, then we're off to Frankfurt, Dave and I. So that'll be interesting too. See who we bump into. I'll have loads to tell you next week. I'll keep a diary while I'm there. Okay, I'll keep a diary. So then next Thursday, when we get together, I'll give you the lowdown on what happened in Frankfurt and who I bumped into. And I'll take some photos and maybe I'll blog. Because you never know. If you've been in the game for 30 years, you're bound to bump into someone you know, aren't you? Hey? Yeah. I'll keep you posted. Right, so let's have a look. I've got my picture. That's good enough. I think I'll leave it there. Right, and I'm not going to put the stripes in there. Got the window, got the door. Yeah, got it all there. Put this to the side, because that's going to be my template going forward as well. Now I've got my picture. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, now this is the interesting thing. You need, because it's a similar rule to this, right? This just roughs up so that you can get a really good, this is really good for taking colour out. So we're going to use that one, but we're also going to use, we're back to our pencils again. This time I'm going down the B pencils. So, you know, the pergoliners are really quite, they're very useful. So going in this colour here, right, I'm going to use the B pencils. So I'm going to take that one. I'm going in this family of colours here. That one. I'm going with all the reds and browns. I've got an orange there and a yellow, going with the real warm colours. That'll do. Okay. They're the ones I want. And my white Faber-Castell eraser pencil. Okay. And I think let's start with that. So I've made the stripes go this way instead of this way on here, but it's entirely up to you. We just want to make it look a bit different. It works either way, but I'll just show you how this works. We're going to reverse the door. You see, so I've done the stripes this way instead of this way. So we're going to take our white eraser pencil, and what we'll do is we'll lift the colour. Right, here we go. Look, watch. I'm lifting the colour on every other stripe. So this time, though, I'm going this way. Look, see how it takes it out? So every other one, just every other one. And it will lift the colour out here, 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 there, like that, like that. Sometimes it needs to be quite sharp. See how it moves it? Right, and then if you feel like, obviously this way is easier because you hit less obstacles, but it will work either way. And if I just take out the colour where I want to take it out, you see, and then this way, if I want to take out colour, I'm going to go the other way on these stripes. So you just put the stripes where you fancy. There you go. And then if I take a brush, you'll see how I'm putting the white accents in. There you go. And I'm going to put a white. So this is like parchment. This paper is like the parchment. You can lift the colour out exactly the same, except you're on the front. Yeah? So here we go. I can take the colour out of the heart. I can take the colour out of the heart as well. And the white doesn't show yet, not properly, until I put the colours next to it. So let's just do this one here. There. Right, so we're getting the white in. Like that. And then we'll worry about that side in a minute. We've got to get a little bit of white going in there. You'll be surprised how easily it comes out, but it's just because it's a bit tight in the banisters. Probably want to get them in sooner. That'll do. Like just a little whisper of white, and probably have to sharpen the pencil a little bit. And the other thing is, of course, that once we've got the white in pretty much where we want it, we can always accentuate it with the white pencil, right? Because now we've eliminated, it's the same principle as the as parchment. Let's go in a bit closer so you can actually see. I'm just looking and I'm thinking we could go in a bit tighter. So now we've done that, right? Let's just say, I just wanted to show you how you get that in. Let's do a bit of yellow work in between now. So this is the line there. So now let's get some yellow going. I'm using a brush to get rid of the, that's it. So now let's get some yellow going. So I've got some yellow going in there. And I'm going in between now, you see. So let's just add a bit of colour in between the, here we go. Now, it's starting to look like something now. And we put some yellow in there, put some yellow in there. So we've got, so now we'll probably be better. We can go in a minute and add some more white, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to go in with, see, this is where the parchment is easier because you can just flip it over and go white that way. But I'm going to get my white in, don't you worry. And then we'll do the door, but we'll go straight on the door. So this is white here. There we go. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect. It's a grungy old beach hut. And if it's still standing today after yesterday's weather, happy days. Right, let's get a bit of white. We could even put a bit of white through there, you see, because that's the other thing. Similarly to the, even where you want to put colour in, like that, if I want to put orange in and I want it to be true, sometimes it's good to get rid of the colour in the background. Look, see how easily this colour comes out? There you go. There. Now, the door. We're going to go this way with the door. So let's put a white stripe right down the centre. And then we'll put another stripe there. And another stripe there. Right. Door's good. It's interesting how quickly this comes together. You watch. Right. Good. So now we've got our yellow and we want to put some orange in the roof. So if I see now, because I've taken out the white, the orange, it falls into place really easily. If you want to add a few more different colours, this is quite dark. That's that orange. Let's go in with a bit more red. See if I can go in with a bit more red on the base there. Right, here we go. So we're getting a bit of shadow going. It's a different way to colour into what we usually do, isn't it? But you can see how nice it is as well, you know. So you can get that orange going. over the top of the red. That's it. And then in here, let's get a bit of orange lightly. I probably want to add a bit of circular to that peephole, maybe a little bit of light. There you go. See, so you can start to add pencil as well to add a bit of shadow. There we are. And then we'll use some yellow. See that it's very forgiving because you're working on a background like this. What you'll find is that it just looks good. You don't have to really work too hard at it because the background is very forgiving. Now let's have a look. We want to put that lintel in over the door. I think that's what it's called. Put the lintel in over the door. I'll add a bit of orange to the railings as well, because at the moment we can't see them very well. There we go. Just add a bit of that colour and you'll see it start to come together now. So a bit of that as well. And then we're going to put let's just get the base colour in like that. And then we're going to put a bit of shadow in underneath. So a bit of that red. So we'll go in there now. See how quickly this comes together, you watch. I mean, it's not a race. You just add your colours as you go. Bit of depth there underneath. So we're starting with the lighter colours and then we're starting to introduce the darker colours. Do you see? There. Get a bit of red. But we're not, the point I'm making here is that we're not actually, what colour shall I do the door? I'll start with a kind of orangey colour, I think. Just go in between the white. There you go. Just go in between the white. Looks good, doesn't it? It looks weather worn. That's why it looks so good. You know? It looks weather worn. So we'll get those colours going. And now we need some steps as well. So the steps, I've got another colour that I want to introduce. These are a bit darker now, the steps. So I've got a brown going on here. Let's get that brown in there. Right. We'll add the brown in a minute to the base as well. So the brown's going to come in here over the top of that yellow and over the top of that red. See, it tones down the red. There we go. And because we put the emery board to it lightly to start with, what you'll find is it takes the colour really nicely. It doesn't glide at all, it just takes it. See, so if I come down here with that brown, it just catches it beautifully. So yeah, these new papers you'll find, they're really nice for colouring in on. Let's get in on that door a bit closer with the brown. I think a bit of orange, a bit of red. How are we doing here? There. It's quite nice to do. Just using the same colour family throughout. Now let's have a look at this heart. Let's bring this heart out, shall we? And the window as well. We have to bring the window out. So let's just go in there with that red. There we go. Yeah, so I'll show you, actually, I can show you the stamps that are coming on the telly and the dies. I think you'll be, you know, because we're always looking for men's cards, aren't we? There. And so let me just show you the set that's going to come on the telly. I think I want to put a bit of light in the window so that it's not so dark. So I'll take let me just take the colour out of there you go. So I'll use the white pencil just to lift that off there like that. This is very addictive, friends. Sorry about my fingernail. That's what happens when you're pottery on, doing pottery all day on Sunday. There, that looks nice, doesn't it? Bit of whiteness in there, a bit more white in the roof, and then we'll add a bit of shadow. Oh, don't do that. Right, okay. So if we use a bit of grey, now let's get some shadow going on the brown in here underneath. So it's set back a little bit, isn't it? Right. So if I want to bring that out a bit. So let's have a look. The thing about doing things like this is it's difficult to talk and get into this at the same time. But I'm getting there now. Yeah, okay. Bit of red on that door. It's a nice door. Let's get some grey going in here. So if I go to my grey, just from that set of polychromos that I'm always using, this will start to define the colour. There we go. So you use this over the top, you see. Just in that corner, I think we want a bit of grey. And maybe in the windows, just underneath there, like that. There you go. And then, I think definitely down here a bit, isn't it? Get that grey in there. And if you feel that you've created a seal by pressing too hard, then you know the trick is to just loosen that up. You could use the emery board. The emery board, that will loosen it up as well. Just to break the seal, you see? This looks good. So get some flicks going up like that. It's the fastest piece of artwork I've ever done. Right, but you can see how easily it comes together. And then once you get the colour down, the shade, you can always add to it. But there is another dark, a really dark, lovely colour that's like a maroon brown. And that one is the one that you go in and make the little flicks and the little, like here, like, so it's not black, but it makes a, so you can get in here, just add a little bit of grunge, like that, with the red. There we go. Let's get these, let's define these. That's it. Excellent. So you get your window in and you use the darker colour to really highlight like that. And then once you've done that, I mean, come on, I'm no expert, right? But I know how to colour in a beach hat, and so do you, friends. Come on. Right, you just flick backwards and forwards between the colours until you're happy with your artwork. And then if you want to get dark, you can take black, you can take a charcoal. If you want to get really grungy, you can take a charcoal pencil, you can take a lead pencil and just add a bit of shadow wherever you think it needs a bit of shadow. You know? Just make it look a bit grungy, a bit dirty, a bit more weathered. It's been out there all night, friends, for a God knows how many years, eh? There we go. There. It's looking good. Right, now we need a little bit, it's floating, isn't it? So let's take that, my favourite green, because it's got green here. So this won't look weird if we anchor the work now. Just add a bit of green around there. There we go. So to do grass, this is all I do is that. And then I go a bit further along and add a bit more grass. So you go along, just, there you go. That's it. So you just go along there, make a bit of grass underneath, and underneath this ladder. Where's that black one? I do like a bit of black. Add a bit of, just a tiny bit of black. Here we go. That'll look good. Yeah, so let me show you. There, isn't that good? Right, so you can see now how to get that. Is that little? That's it. And so it goes on. You can spend hours of fun making a quirky house. And in a minute, I'll show you how to do that on there. Okay, right, sip of tea, sip of coffee, and then I'll show you the new stamps that are coming up on, oh, I've got something in my eye. I'll show you the new stamps that are coming on the telly on Friday, okay? And see what you think. I won't move this. I'll just leave it exactly here. Right. So the whole idea is that you get this abstract layout die, which gives you apertures. And then Jazz and I, we've come up with loads of stamps. So the first collection is very much travel, men, transport, male, young. It's good. All right, let me show you. And then you'll see what we're up to. So if, for example, the first abstract layout aperture die gives you these openings. I haven't got any artwork to show you. You will have to come back on Friday to the TV. But there's the aperture. So you see it gives you those openings. And then you also get, this is really cool, you also get these papers. So now you'll understand why we are launching these infusion papers. So these are also loose leaf, but have a look. And what you'll see is these are different. These are really special and different because what we've done is we've infused the die shape onto the paper. Now, for the average stamper, what you'll realize is that when you've got this in the background, that doesn't half make it easy now for stamping, right? So you've got, let's say, for example, here, this is just wheels and wings. This is, you've got the die over the top, but it was very easy to stamp because you knew exactly where it was on the paper. Do you see? So you've got all these lovely papers, and there's a taster. It's like a taster pack, and it's specifically designed to go with that die. So there you go. This is tea-inspired papers, and it's designed for aperture layout number 1. There are 5 altogether. So then the stamps that come with this set, let me show you, are these ones. So we've got all these transport stamps, you see. So you've got the cars and vans and motorbikes. Cool, there's my old Harley there. Happy Father's Day, Zoom, up, and up. So it's very men, you know, very men. Then on the TV as well, on the same show, we've got our boats. So it's all about the elements, about transport, gone fishing, bikes, hobbies. It's really nice, okay? And then we've also, Jazz also designed some wee stamps, which are great. You know, the wee stamps always work beautifully. So these are these sets, but smaller in wee format. So we're headed for a really a big treat really on the telly with these and with the dies. And then, as if that weren't good enough, what Jazz has also done, she's made an inspiration booklet. And this is brilliant because it shows you exactly what's in the kit, here are all the cards and ideas and artwork that the design team have done. So you've got loads of projects all in one, right? These look so good. And these are, so the whole idea of the layout, it's like the Groovy system, except we've brought it into Stamp World because we think that it will work really, really nicely. So you can see all the different projects. It's a really lovely book. You can see here just project ideas. Really very, very lovely indeed. And that's super, you know. So well done to Jazz for putting that together, and to Lisa for the print work. You know, everything that we do here, the stamps get made and designed here in-house. Everything's done exactly within shouting distance of where I'm sitting. Oh, except that Lisa and Dave are up the road in the pinky grey print rooms. So So there you go. That's what's coming up on Friday, and I hope that you enjoy this, because so many of you are always saying, "Oh, we need something for men." Well, look no further. I think you'll have fun with those. And the last thing I want to do before we call it a day, I just want to show you how to put the message on. So the best thing to do really is to take a piece of tracing paper like I've done here. Okay, tracing paper. And then what you do is, for me, the best thing to do was to fold it in half like that and then wrap it. But they're good, aren't they? They'd look good on a they would look really good on the wall, wouldn't they? And if they were mounted on a really bright black and white paper. I'm going to give you a hint of some papers that Jim and I have been designing. These are going to print. I think they went to print yesterday. Look at these. See now, I reckon this is going to be amazing. When you take these papers and you combine them with those black and white mono colours, this is going to be absolutely brilliant. See, I love that look. I love the stripes and that. Doesn't that look superb? Yeah, so little sneak peek there, but let me just show you how we do this. They're good, aren't they? You see, you can tear these, you can colour them in, you can, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. They will be here next week. Right, so we pop that in there like so, you see, and then I can draw on here. So if I want it to be kind of funky writing, right? So I can have a little practice on here. What kind of writing? I want to have that kind of childish writing, if you like, right? So it's all woo-wah. It's the easiest way to write, really, or write with your wrong hand. Write with your wrong hand. But if that's the middle, the only thing you've got to do is work out the center. So, for example, if I want to write, I do like to. This is just purely for positioning exercise. So you've got 1, 2. The gap counts as a space, as a letter. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 altogether. So to find the middle on the longest word, you've got to count half of that, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the L is the center. The L is the center. And then you work. So if that's the case, right, and this is the center here, then, for example, I shall write O in the middle because I know that fits. And I'm going to write it really lightly because I'll probably write it several times. O, what pencil have I got here? It's very, let me write with the fine one so it's not quite so fat. Right, then you can see it better. So we're going to go right bang in the middle. So take the house down the center, O, like that. That's nice. And then I know that like is in the center. So now this is in the middle here. So I'm going to go L-I-K-E-2. And then at this side, I've got to do I do like. So I'm going to go do, I'm writing backwards on this one. I do like. So now I know I do like. Oh, I do like to be beside. And then B comes bang in the middle. Boom. Bosh. I mean, if you can't cope it, just put a little B there, right? B, and then beside that, and it's the same sketch. If you want it to be in the middle, you've got to work out if it's beside the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the one in the middle. See, and then that way you can work your way backwards. So if that's beside the, and then side, and then I know it's in the middle, see? So that way, and then seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside this seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. This is spelt right, isn't it? There, see? See? And if you don't do it the way I said, it's going to be off. You've literally got to take each word and centre it in the middle. See? So seaside, SEASIDE. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3 and a half. There's right. So that one's in the middle, S. So now you come back down here, you put the S in, and then IDE on that side, and C on that side. Isn't it funny how as soon as you do that, it goes in the middle? There you go. Seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. And then once you've done it, you might want to condense it, right? Make it smaller. This is quite tall. And once you've done that, then you flip it over and you put it on a bit of scrap. So you've got the lead on this side, right? Then you flip it back. You can either go straight to the artwork and have it on the front there, or you can put it on a little piece of the same, but now, of course, the dark's on the light side and the light's on the dark side. See, that works really nicely. And that looks really good. So there you go. That's B for Beach Hut sorted. And I think it's a very enjoyable, lots of tricks and tips. I can only tell you, and this isn't me trying to flog these papers, I know that when you start drawing on those papers and you start using them, you will fall in love with them. They are so lovely. Because they haven't got massive patterns in them, they're just grungy, but not too busy, you know. And because you can take colour out with the white eraser pencil, that changes, that's a game changer, all right? So enjoy them. And what else am I going to say? Right, don't forget tomorrow, Groovy Tuesday, Thursday 1 and 5, Groovy, Friday 9 and 1. I'll be launching those wonderful easy layout dies and papers and stamps for guys. And other than that, no SHAC on Thursday or next Monday because we'll be in Frankfurt. And then I'll tell you all about it. So I hope that you have a really good week. Stay warm. Don't go out if you don't need to. Do artwork. It's much safer and creative and healthy. There you go. Lots of love. And I'll see you. Let me see. I'll see you on telly on Friday. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.